So today I wanted to answer a question from you. I want to get back to the original one, so I language it just like the questioner asked. Um, the question reads, if you didn't get the job, if I didn't get the job, do most employers call you back to tell you that you didn't get the job after the interview? So this is a question about being rejected and what employer, and I'm going to add in recruiter behavior is like if you're being turned down for a job. Now, the classic complaint that job hunters had is no one tells me that I'm turned down. But they do tell you, it's just the language that they use doesn't make it obvious to you. The language employers tend to use, the language recruiters tend to use is they don't call you. It's like in dating situations, if the boy doesn't call the girl, if the girl doesn't get back to the guy, I'm going to do the gender neutral stuff. If a guy doesn't get back to a guy, if a girl doesn't get back to a girl, what's the message in the behavior that's being communicated? The answer is, I'm not interested. That's the language of employers and recruiters. When they're interested, they are all over you. They are reaching out to you. They're confirming information. They're trying to get a sense of what you're looking for in the way of salary. They're doing a lot of things to communicate and connect with you. When they're just not that into you, they're not going to be getting back to you so fast. They're going to be a little cold and curt. They may be non-communicative. And the reason is they're not interested. They're just not that into you. So it's just that you're not hearing the words that say, John, Susan, Ramesh, Way, we're just not going to be hiring you. Now go leave us alone. Instead, they're trying not to hurt your feelings, but they're leaving you anxious. And as a result, you think that maybe there's still a chance. And statistically, it is so rare that after a long period of time, they're going to get back to you. Now, if in the course of your interviewing, I want to give you this tip because I think it's very helpful. In the course of your interviewing, you may be asked, you're asked if you have any questions. And at the very end of your list of questions, I want you to ask this. As you're looking at this first round of interviews, what's your timeline for making choices? Well, we're not absolutely certain about that. Do you think this is going to be going on for a week, a month? How long do you think it's going to take before you narrow it down to second interviews? Oh, and you can say, I'm not looking for a commitment that's cast in stone. But if you say 2 weeks and it's a month from now, I got a pretty clear message about your lack of interest, right? Could you give me a sense of what your timeline is? And that's as general language. And I don't want you to treat that like it's cast in stone. Treat it like it's a guideline, that it could be a few days later than that. Now, once it's a few days after what they say, the probability is you're not going to get called back. It's certainly possible, but the probability is against it. So there you'd have your answer. And if you want to get the phone call, I'd simply say, it's like the breakup phone call. Call up and said, it's not you, it's us. We need someone who has this. A lot of firms don't want to do it. Now, it's U.S.-centric answer that I'm going to give here, but the short version is it's not in their interest. It's a waste of time for them. All that's going to happen is you're going to hear something, get angry, and argue with them. And why should they want to put themselves through that? Now, in other nationalities, there may be different reasons for it, but generally, firms don't want to make that phone call, and recruiters clearly don't want to make that phone call. I'll speak as a recruiter. I've had situations where people argue with the feedback that I'm relaying from my client, but they didn't ask me about that. Well, often what it is they're extrapolating information based upon the answers that you did give, to give them a clear idea that you haven't done what they didn't ask you to do, didn't ask you about. There are indirect ways that firms can probe in the course of the interview to get their answer. So recognize that, you're turned down. There's no arguing. They don't want to put themselves through it. Treat their silence as your answer. That's probably the best advice I can give you. Hope you find this helpful. Have a great day.